What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Ad Podcast, broadcasting to you from the Salesforce Beach. And we've got a great CMO interview for you guys. Sangeeta Prasad is the CMO of Slalom. Sangeeta, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So tell us a little bit about yourself. For those that might not be as familiar with Slalom, maybe tell us a little bit about who you guys are, and then tell us about your camp.
Fantastic. I am CMO at Slalom, as you just said. Slalom is a business and technology consulting company that comes with a fiercely human approach. So that's a little difference in how we approach the work we do. Even though we do technology, we do it from a human lens.
Okay.
I've been at Slalom for 6 years, which is double the average time length of CMOs. But the reason I have really enjoyed my time there is because I was the first CMO.
Oh, very cool.
And so I did the whole setup. So built the foundation, educated the company about what marketing is, and then now we're actually doing the fun stuff.
I love it. So we're here at Salesforce Beach. Are you guys integrated in a big way with Salesforce? Or you guys consider yourself a systems integrator, partner? What's your relationship with Salesforce?
Oh, yes, we are one of Salesforce's top partners.
Interesting.
And we do a lot of work with Salesforce. We're here because we are co-sponsoring this beach here today. I just was on a great panel with some other CMOs, and what's not to love about this? It is absolutely spectacular.
Right? Yeah. So tell me about what you've seen and what you're learning in the world of B2B as it pertains to Cannes. You know, there's a lot of fanfare for direct-to-consumer work, but there's also a B2B category now. Cannes really does care about B2B marketing, cares about doing B2B marketing well with human insight, human emotion. A lot of surveys are showing now that people buy from people in the B2B context, not just from companies. So they're looking to trust the people behind the brands that represent the capabilities that they're looking to acquire. So what has been some of the things that you've seen here at Cannes, and what are you going to take back to the team?
You know, I'm really glad you talked about B2B because, as you said, B2C is usually the focus. But for the first year, Cannes had a full day of B2B marketing on Tuesday.
Yep.
And you know, we had some really interesting insights there. The first one was that the decision that a customer makes on which company to hire in a B2B situation, because a big investment, big time commitment, the primary decision is it a safe decision?
Yeah,
so,
they don't want something to go wrong and then they're blamed and their job put in jeopardy.
100%.
Yeah.
So then trust becomes such an important part of what we do, and building trust with customers based on the work we do, how we treat their teams, and how we deliver outcomes. That's really what it's all about.
I love it. And then, so what are some of the practical things that you think marketers in the B2B ecosystem can do to build trust through storytelling? Is it, B2B influencers are a thing now, so you have these top experts that maybe never intended to become an influencer, but they just happen to have built an audience, a loyal group of people who trust them on social media sites like LinkedIn that are obviously the places where B2B folks are talking about capabilities, transacting, learning, and doing research. Be curious your take on the B2B influencer and the rise thereof.
You know, there is a rise happening of the B2B influencer, but I think in these decisions that B2B company decisions, they are a little more rational.
Yep.
And so
it's not an impulse buy.
No, it's not an impulse buy. But I think if the influence is relevant to the category,
if they're a thought leader,
they're
an educator, a trainer,
exactly,
an
expert. And I feel like it's almost a misnomer to call them an influencer. They are an expert, and they have deep knowledge, and therefore they're trusted. And they don't necessarily attach themselves to a brand. They talk about the category. And so I think that's an important role. And at Slalom, we try to have our own experts.
Right, so you try to raise your own team as experts and influencers, and in the same way that maybe a third-party expert might pop up in your category.
Exactly. And when we raise our own influencers, the thought leaders, we try to tell the story from the lens of the customer. The customer is the hero.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
The work we're doing for the customer is for their customer. So it's really about the customer and the customer. We just happen to be
downstream.
Exactly. We just happen to help the process.
I love it. So talk about compressed buying windows in B2B. So with the rise of LLMs, 60% of all Google searches no longer end with a click. So marketers used to spend a lot of time designing their sites for education and research and allowing a buyer to maybe visit their site, do their own research, read blogs, download white papers, watch videos, maybe even engage for a demo or something like that. And then the goal was to cookie them and follow them around the internet, right? Well, now, because users are doing a lot more research inside of LLMs where they don't need to click through and do their own research, you don't have that cookie opportunity. You don't have that opportunity to follow them around the internet and quietly drip your brand on them so they continue to think about you and keep you at the top of the consideration set. But on the flip side, they're ready to transact a lot faster when they come to your site. Like, they've done their research, they got an idea, maybe they've narrowed you down to like one or two options, and then they just want to figure out how to get to the next step and get to the implementation phase or get into a pricing discovery call or something like that. So be curious, with the rise of LLMs, how are you thinking about the user experience and the buyer's journey?
It's so interesting. We just talked about this even in the panel we just had. Everyone is still experimenting and figuring how to do this in the most efficient and effective way, as are we. But I think what you said is absolutely right. The shortlist has been formed before they even click on anything. And so the question really becomes, how do you get on the shortlist?
Yeah.
And getting on the shortlist, it's all about being part of analyst evaluations, building relationships, having thought leaders go out and speak so that people hear about you, understand you're an expert, and at least start putting you in the consideration set. And then we're talking about them coming to your site, and we're also all changing the way we develop our websites so that once they come in, we can quickly answer questions and go from there.
So has there been any work this week from other B2B brands that you admire or aspire to be like, that you saw that was inspirational, that you're maybe thinking about bringing back to the team?
You know, what was consistent across the B2B brands that I saw and I heard is everyone is struggling with where to go next. And what does this change look like? What is the way to make these mandates coming down from the CEO about AI efficiency? What do we do to either drive that or to educate our CEOs on what efficiency and effectiveness in marketing looks like in the world of AI? And I don't think there were any answers, but there were a lot of ideas and questions. It made me actually feel better about...
You don't feel alone in your search for answers.
Exactly.
Yep.
And the good thing is we're hearing the same thing from our clients as well. Like, they don't know what to do. But one of the things that everyone talked about, it's not about one thing. So it's not just about upgrading your technology systems and data. It's technology plus organization.
Yep.
The operations are key.
It's change management as well.
Yes.
And reskilling.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's transformation across the company.
Yeah.
One division can't do it because everything touches everything else.
There was a book written recently about IBM's change management theory and the case study that they went through. I got to facilitate that conversation at South by Southwest this year. I'd wonder, how do you approach change integration and change management when you want to roll out a new way of thinking, a new behavior, a new discipline? How do you start a pilot, and how do you get that? How do you drive adoption?
I think what I've learned over my many years in marketing is the first step has to be internal education and internal buy-in.
Yeah.
And that takes time. You cannot force that, because then no matter what you do externally market, especially in B2B, if the internal folks are not on board, it'll never take foot.
Yeah, what I thought was fascinating about the IBM case study is the idea of making change an irresistible product.
Yes.
The idea of, like, you make it like almost like a country club experience. Like, if you go through the change management process and if you adapt the new way of thinking, then you get, featured in corporate comms, and you get it's kind of like a rewarded,
yes,
and it almost becomes like, oh, then everybody else wants in on it.
Yes.
It's like kind of like it's a pull strategy versus like people feel like, oh my God, got to do another training, this or that. But it's like product thinking as it pertains to change.
I love that, and we've been doing quite a bit of that as well. We find the friends of marketing across the organization, and then we have the way Slalom is structured. We have a number of markets, and markets are competitive with each other, and so we pick a market, a friendly market, and do it there, and then all of a sudden the other markets are raising their hand to do it. So that's a good way to do it.
I love it. Well, very cool. Well, Sangeeta, thank you for spending a little bit of time with us in the audience today. If people want to learn more about Slalom or connect with you, follow along with your thought leadership, where would you like to send people to stay in touch?
First of all, slalom.com, SLALOM, SLALOM.com, and you can always find me on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much.
On YouTube, finding the right audience to build a media plan requires hours of research. And optimizing campaigns is time-consuming and a bit of a guessing game. That's why we built technology to do it for you. Strike Social.